Hey, what's up guys, Rev here. So today we're going to be talking about a big VTuber related controversy taking place. It involves the VTuber Aura, who is the VTuber mascot for the browser source Opera GX. Yesterday she made her VTuber debut on Twitch, where at one point she had over 70,000 live viewers, which is an insane number. It is much higher than any view count that VTubers like Iron Mouse, for example, have ever achieved. It is a bigger view count for her debut stream than the debut streams of big VTubers like Kason and Nazuna when they joined VShojo. That's how big this number is, and it had a lot of people asking, was this legit? Well, no, it was not, because Opera GX was actively embedding her stream into their browser source, which artificially inflated her view count by a great deal. And then when confronted with that reality, Opera GX would boldface lie to the public about what they did. Now, this isn't the first time that we've caught Opera GX lying on Twitter. We found that happening about a month ago when I made this video, which was a different situation, but definitely relates to today. So I'm going to give a quick run through of that video. So basically, this user uploaded a screenshot onto Twitter trying to cancel this YouTuber and Opera GX because they sponsored a video called Blue Archive Cunny Tier List, which obviously is a lolicon reference. Now, when confronted with this tweet, Opera GX on their Twitter account claimed that they had no idea what cunny was, which is interesting because at least someone on their account was very familiar, making this poll right here, talking about the character Rebecca, who is a lolly, and then using the crying emoji, which is a synonym for cunny on Twitter and other social media platforms. And then there was some interactions here where people were talking about the emoji and standing for Rebecca, and they flat out said they know exactly what it means. At least someone operating that account at one point knew what it meant, and yet they're acting like they had no idea who this person was before pulling their sponsorship. And this was the channel that they sponsored, by the way. Like, it's very clear that they do a lot of lolicon related content, and this is the video itself. The Blue Archive Cunny Tier List, the whole video is about cunny, and they act like they didn't know what it meant. Even if they didn't know what it meant, they should have done their research when getting ready to sponsor this video. And also one of their defenses was that they never reviewed the video before giving the sponsorship, which I've worked with like a dozen different brands for promoted videos at this point, and they never let you just post a video without checking it first. Like, that's the step that every single promotion has to go through, is them reviewing the whole video before you get permission to go live. But here's one of the things, okay? In that video, we talked about Aura, who is their VTuber mascot. At that point, she hadn't made her debut yet, but there was a lot of hype surrounding this VTuber. And let me make this very clear from the jump. This video is not attacking the person behind this VTuber account, okay? The person running the model is obviously very talented. She had to beat out hundreds, if not thousands, of applicants trying to get that spot. Her stream itself looked very entertaining. There's nothing wrong with the person running this account. However, it is my strong assumption that the people around her, the management and other people running the Opera GX accounts, are the ones who are the bad actors here. In fact, that's probably the reason why I'm blocked. I am blocked. I know there's some other VTubers like Pippa and some other regular Twitter users who are blocked. There's way too many to be a coincidence, and it doesn't look like it was a blockchain. It looked like they individually went around Twitter blocking certain people after my Opera GX video went live. And it seems like it has a lot of people who are either innocent or people who interacted with tweets that were negative about Opera GX as a browser source or their behavior on social media. So that is my assumption, that a lot of this has to do with the people running Opera GX and not the person running the VTuber. But like I said, she made her debut yesterday. Wild numbers, into the 70,000 mark in terms of live viewers at different points. That is an absolutely insane number. I can't stress that enough to you. That is next level. Like, for example, during Iron Mouse's legendary subathon, where at one point she had over 100,000 active subs, her view count, I think, only broke 40,000 once. So she almost doubled that yesterday during her debut, which was not very hyped up. So obviously people were like, well, something suspicious is going on here. And people quickly discovered, like in this tweet, that Opera GX embedded the stream onto their browser source, and that quite predictably skyrocketed the views. Now, embedding videos onto different websites and platforms isn't anything new that people have done in terms of boosting viewership of streams. They mentioned here the Fextra Life situation was something that was already talked about. They used various wiki pages to embed their streams to try to jack up their viewership, and that was something that was not only talked about but largely frowned at because people thought it was a very cheesy tactic and borderlining on botting.
Do you guys know what Fextra Life is? They have 60,000 viewers. But you might notice something. They do not have 60,000 people in their chat. Their total chatters is 36,000, even though they've been live for 26 hours, which is pretty low. I guess for some comparison, I have 21,000 and I've been live for 90 minutes with less than half the viewers.
So Opera GX would respond to the claims that they're embedding Aura's stream onto their browser source. They wrote this whole light novel here with 5 reasons as to why they're in the clear, but it boils down to 2 very important points that I want to pay attention to today. So number 1, they claim that embedded viewers, people who are seeing the embedded stream on their browser, do not count as viewers. And they also say that this is not fake viewership because the only way a viewer would count is if they were logged into their Twitch account while seeing the embedded stream on their browser. Now, number 1, just to point this out, since Opera GX is a gaming browser, I would imagine most people are already logged into their Twitch account when they're on Opera GX. I would just imagine that's the case with most people, so they would count as a view under their logic here or under their standard, but we don't even have to go that far because what they said about embedded streams is not true at all. In fact, if you quickly search up, do embedded Twitch streams count as viewers, right from the Twitch help desk, it says you still count as a viewer so long as the live video is playing. And they went on to Twitter to further confirm this in a reply from their Twitch support saying that if the stream is properly embedded, a person viewing it counts as a viewer. And going beyond that, with the whole claim that you have to be logged in to your Twitch account to count as a viewer, that is not true either. And I thought that was common knowledge, but apparently a lot of people don't know this. But if you're not logged in to a Twitch account and you're watching a stream, you still count as a viewer. So they lied to you on multiple levels about how these embedded streams count as a viewer. If the whole goal here, it's very obvious. They wanted to inflate the view count of Aura's debut stream by putting this embedded stream onto their browser source. And the vast majority of the people who were viewing this embedded stream were not actively interacting with the stream. They weren't watching it, they weren't interacting, they weren't commenting. It was just there to artificially boost the numbers. It's very obvious because there's no other way that Aura on her debut stream would get such an insane view count. It just doesn't make any sense unless something unnatural was happening, and that's exactly what the case was. Now, there's a whole debate here about what to call this. Some people consider it view botting, and yes, I get there's an in-name difference between embedded streams and view botting because when it comes to embedded streams, there is a chance that someone is actually using the stream properly and watching the embedded stream, but many are not. And that's not me making a reach. I would say a very good number of the people who were exposed to the embedded stream were not actually watching it or engaging with it, which sounds very much like view botting because they're there and not actually consuming or engaging with the content, and they're there simply to boost the view count. That sounds like view botting, doesn't it? The only difference is that with embedded streams, there is the chance that someone might be interacting with the content, but the majority are just there to boost the number, and they don't even know they're being counted as a viewer. But nonetheless, one of the managers of the Opera GX account would come out and make another long statement explaining themselves. And I found this whole section here to be pretty interesting. They say, this of course affected the view count when referring to the embedding streams, but our goal wasn't to hit or inflate any numbers. We just wanted to show her debut stream to as many people as we could. That's all. We won't be embedding regular streams this way, and it's only reserved for big events such as this one. To be honest, embedding every stream would not only inflate the numbers, but also ruin the experience for viewers as the chat becomes too hard to read and no one wants that. So basically they said, our goal wasn't to inflate viewership, but our goal was to inflate viewership. Like, that's basically what they said. They confirmed that they're embedding the stream. They confirmed that embedding the stream inflates views, but they say they don't want to do that. Like, which is it? But yeah. There was also this other image floating around on Twitter. It's another person who is the social media specialist for Opera GX, and there's claims that this this Reddit account down here belongs to them based on comparing these avatars here. Now, it's a bit of a stretch, but if it is them, they were actively asking questions about whether it's safe to buy Instagram followers, which would kind of be on par with this whole situation we're talking about today, but not the biggest story, but I want to point that out as well. And then there was this response. So someone saw that 5-part response and said, please boil it down for us, where Opera GX says, stream embedded doesn't count if you don't watch / are not logged in. We know that's not true now. And then GX Corner is not the start page, but it's still very popular. And then they end with, of course, we're going to promote our VTuber on our own site, but numbers don't matter. Numbers don't matter to Opera GX. Well, here they are boasting that they're literally breaking Twitch because they peaked over 70,000 viewers for a second. I think view count does matter to you. And they are once again lying to people on Twitter. And it's not the first time, as I mentioned. They did this last month and now they're doing it again. They got caught red-handed embedding the stream. It's obvious that they're doing it to inflate the numbers of the debut stream. And now they got caught and they're doubling down and lying about it openly right to people's faces. And hopefully a lot of people are wise to this and don't accept what they're trying to do. But like I've said in the past, in my past video, they are not friends to VTubers on this account. The people running Opera GX have openly joined in on campaigns like this. You can see their likes, where they were liking tweets mocking that one VTuber who was virally bullied because of his concert. Anyone who liked or joked about that stuff is not someone who is a friend to the VTuber community or the VTubing scene as a whole. And I think this environment that Opera GX has created on Twitter, because they're the wannabe Wendy account that's constantly roasting people and doing things like that. The replies to this Dexerto post and the replies to anything made by Opera GX talking about Aura's debut is filled with tons and tons of negative comments along the lines of, this is cringe, who asked for this, who likes this stuff, VTubers are weird, and it goes on and on and on. And it's not surprising because they've been like the Reddit of Twitter accounts, you know, actively mocking people for their hobbies and their passions. And now you have a VTuber and they're getting mocked by their own audience, and it's like, it's just annoying. And like I said, I have no ill will towards the person running this VTuber. They seem innocent. They seem like they're very talented. I don't think they're going around blocking people. I don't think they're the one chiming in on these decisions and asking to be basically view botted by these embedded streams. But I just want to make that clear again. We're not trying to go after the person running the VTuber. It's just Opera GX and their management and the people who run their social media accounts, because they're clearly, well, I don't even know. They're just annoying, if anything, and they don't know how to stop lying. But that's going to do it for this video. I know it was a lot, so I appreciate the listen. And yeah, let me know all of your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below, and I'll see you guys next time.